Okay, what's going on, LBHT crew? Guys, we're not starting at 7:30. We're not starting at 7:30. All right. We thought we were going to have to start a little late. Something came up at the last minute, but it's taken care of for now. All right. That might be maybe that might be a overtime discussion. We'll see. We'll see. All right. But B, what's going on?
Not a whole lot, man. Just kind of a down day.
It is. It's funny because you were dragging today. I was dragging today, right? But we're here now, guys. All right. It is Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. Hope your week is going well. But if not, hopefully it gets better starting right now. I say that because that's really how I feel a lot of times. Well, all the time, really. Like there's never been a time where once we started the show, my energy levels didn't go up.
Yeah.
Right. Like there are times where I felt sick. You know, there are times I'm just too tired to do the show. I'm not gonna make it through. But once we start the show, okay, it's like it's the LBHT crew. It's like when Hulk Hogan used to get the energy from all the Hulkamaniacs, right? I would feel the energy from you guys. All right, yeah, powering me through the show. All right. But anyway, we are streaming live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Twitch. So wherever you're watching us, make sure you hit that like button, hit the follow, subscribe, all that good stuff. We are close to 2,000 subscribers, ladies and gentlemen. Get us there, and then we got some more goals. So don't get complacent. All right. There's Coach, the Toxic Twins. Yes. I like that name. What's going on, Coach? That's so funny. Bazel says, I am him, aka first. You are first. Salute to you, Bazel. Ravenville says, Coach sent me. Yes, indeed. Salute to Coach. He said, Coach says Coach sent him too. All right. Our guy, Coach Evans from Sip 2 Tally Films, man. If you're new here, you haven't subscribed here first and go over to Sip 2 Tally Films and subscribe over there. All right. He is very close to 10,000 subscribers. And I cannot stress enough how monumental that is. If you have not subscribed, you're like, oh, yeah, I watch them all the time. I think I'm subscribed. I'm not sure. Please double check.
Yeah.
If you're not, hit the subscribe button. All right. Share with your friends. Share with your family. Okay. Coach is a good friend of ours. So it would mean a lot to us if you help get him to 10,000 subscribers. All right. Yeah, we appreciate you, Coach. Ravenville, I got you already. He says, what's up, LBHT crew? What's going on, Ravenville? Thanks for coming through. Our guy, Killer Cam, is in the house. Says, hola, Jose. And mucho gusto, Brodny. What's going on? What's up, Cam? Our guy, Jeremy Miller, is in the house. Says, hi, everyone. Hey, Jeremy. We got DDSQ in the house. Says, what it do, LBHT crew? The dopest brothers on YouTube. Salute to you, DDSQ. And we got Zeke Hokage, top 5 dopest names on YouTube. Says, what's good, unks? And everyone. Hey, salute to you, Zeke. Who else we got in here? We got MDT Sports says, what's up, guys? Ain't it great? Happy day. Is it, Brodny? But all love. What's with all the laughing emojis? What's that for?
I'm assuming he's referencing the Lakers losing. But, he's a Warriors fan, so, you've had time to get over that.
Oh, it's Yolanda. Yolanda's in the house. Look, she says, good evening, everyone. Ravens Talk with Yolanda. We'd appreciate it if you subscribe over there as well. Thanks for coming through, Yolanda.
And Yolanda actually won our loyalty points this month.
Hey,
so
congratulations, Yolanda. Congratulations. All right. If you don't know what that is, you get points by doing exactly what you're doing right now. Participating in the chat, donating, all right, subscribing, signing up to our Patreon, signing up to our newsletter. That gets you a automatic 1,000 points. But the person with the most points at the end of the month gets a prize, and they get to pick the prize, all right, within a certain dollar amount. And the second prize is for anybody that has at least 1,000 points. Okay, they enter a drawing, and that's for a $25 Amazon gift card.
Yeah,
So
we're gonna spin that wheel later this evening.
Yep.
Not too much later, but later.
Yeah. I'd be saying what's going on. Says what's up, guys? Who's on the docket today? Yeah, I put it in the description. It's going to be the Sanders. Okay, Papa Sanders and Baby Sanders, Deion and Shedeur. All right. So we're going to discuss that. Man, he can't wait. And I'm going to tell you right now, order. I'd be saying order. Don't, because you and just Aloe guilty. Right? You can't wait to get it out. Our brother OTR Mike, fellas, what's going on, Mikey? Mikey, I got a story for you, my friend.
Well, I'd be saying it's asking because he wanted it to be EDC this week.
Oh,
for allegedly robbing Rashod Bateman.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll just talk about that. You guys know how we feel about EDC right here, but we'll discuss that. Okay. Osman, what's going on? Hello, Jose, Brodny, and everyone in the chat. Salute to you. Chen Wu, what's going on, Chen Wu? Thanks for coming through.
What's up, Chen?
Chris White is in the house. Says they got 31 free throw attempts. Okay. How much your Lakers?
Yeah, they lost. That's cool.
Yeah, it's a good game. Look, the Nuggets are good. Our guy Hendo in the house says best time of the week. Yes, indeed. All right. Okay. All right. So we got about 30 people in here. They still coming in. Oh, we got okay. Got a couple people on Facebook and Twitter as well. It always surprises me the people that watch on Twitter because it's usually not a big amount, but lately it's been blowing up. So salute to you guys. Okay. This is just like last week, not going to be a long show. All right. We're still recovering. We did a lot of streaming. We did a lot of recording. Okay. We got stuff coming out. We have a project that we and Hendo have been working on. I mean, who knows when it's going to be ready, but it's going to be ready at some point. We need you guys to support it when it comes out. I think it's going to be dope. I think you guys are going to enjoy it. So this is going to be a fairly short episode.
Well, because we have our Dynasty League draft party / hangout after the show.
Yes, and we're not. You don't. You want to watch it because we're not just there, just drafting. We're going to be discussing things. We're going to be hanging out, and we're going to be discussing the. Yes. We're going to be discussing the Kendrick Lamar and Drake beef. Okay, that's going to be a lot of fun. So come through. Patreon.com/LBHT Show is how you do it. All right, but let's get this show started. But first, we like to start every show with a Black History fact, and B has a Black History fact for you. And Nicole, B and Nicole got a Black History fact for you.
That's right.
Welcome to this week's Black History Fact. Gwendolyn Brooks, born in 1917 in Topeka, Kansas, was a groundbreaking American poet whose life and achievements have left an indelible mark on literature. Growing up in Chicago, Brooks was deeply influenced by the city's vibrant cultural and social landscape, which would become a central theme in much of her work. In 1950, Brooks made history as the first African American to win a Pulitzer Prize for Poetry, awarded for her collection, Annie Allen. This achievement recognized her exceptional talent and opened doors for Black writers in mainstream literary circles. Brooks's poetry is known for its rich imagery, insightful exploration of racial identity, and keen observation of human experiences. She often used traditional poetic forms, but infused them with modern themes, creating a unique and powerful voice that resonated with readers across diverse backgrounds. In 1985, Brooks was appointed as the Poet Laureate of Illinois, a position she held until her passing in 2000. This appointment highlighted her immense contributions to American literature and her role as a cultural ambassador for the state. As a mentor and educator, Brooks played a crucial role in nurturing young talent and promoting diversity in literature. She received numerous awards and honors throughout her lifetime, including the Robert Frost Medal and the National Medal of Arts, cementing her legacy as one of the most influential poets of the 20th century.
All right. Salute to Gwendolyn Brooks. That was a good one. I like that one. Okay. So let's get into it. All right. Look, it's a draft recap. Okay. Well, before we do that, because IB saying he requested it, he wants to talk about EDC finessing Rashod Bateman. Was this a finesse? This would have been a good court of public opinion, because I want to know, did Rashod Bateman get finessed, or did he finesse himself? Okay, because did you hear the story about this?
Well, yeah, I mean, he wasn't eligible for that 5th-year option because he didn't show up, for the mandatory reporting date, and they gave him a little pay bump this year and an extension, and yeah, I mean, he did it to himself. Like, you should have just said, hey. Well, okay. There is the part that he would have been a restricted free agent, right? Mm-hmm. So they would have been able to, if they wanted to, just kind of tender him and keep him at a relatively low salary for another year. But he signed another year beyond that. So, I mean, you did it to yourself. You should have gone out there and try to have as productive a season as you could possibly have, and then the Ravens would be interested in giving you a big money long-term deal potentially. But he went ahead and settled for lesser money, and I'm hoping that he stays healthy and produces for the next couple of years, and then try to cash in later.
So I'm looking in the chat. Osmond said that his agent got fired for the mistake. So was it that? Why did he show up late? Was he protesting, or was it? Oh, I thought it was starting on this date. I'm not sure what the reason was. If it was just a matter of, I got the days mixed up. They told me it was going to be on this date, and it was actually this day. If it was something like that, I mean, I still, if you don't show up at camp, usually somebody calls, right? They call you, they call your agent. Hey, what's going on? Oh, I thought it started tomorrow. No, it's starting now. Get over here. And typically, if you're a stand-up organization, you let that slide, right?
Well, that's not up to them. That's just the rule. It's the rule in the league that if he's not there, then he's not eligible for that 5th-year option.
Gotcha.
And the Ravens aren't a stand-up organization like that. The Ravens will screw anybody out their money.
Okay, but I think what they did was a stand-up thing. They didn't have to offer him anything, right? Say, okay, look, we'll give you a little bit more money.
Yeah. But they offered him well below market value for a wide receiver, especially as of right now, a number 2 wide receiver.
Yeah, but he didn't have to take it. That's the other thing.
Yeah,
he didn't. He could have easily said, "Okay, no, I'll go be a restricted free agent, right? Essentially a free agent, because if I don't ball out, you're not going to be interested in bringing me back." And we got a donation. Shout out to Jared for a $3 donation. It says, just supporting.
Thank you, Jared.
Thank you, Jared. Hey, appreciate that. Thank you. If he doesn't ball out, all right, they're not going to bring him back, and he'll sign somewhere else for more than when he got here.
Yeah, and that was why I assumed it would be more than what the numbers floating out there were. Because I'm like, why would you? Like, even if you're a bad receiver, you'll get a bigger contract than that in free agency just because you're young and used to be a 1st-round pick.
Yeah. Big mistake, Coach. He made a big mistake there. I wouldn't have done that. You know who also made a mistake, B? We did, because we did not switch scenes.
Well, we haven't actually started the topic yet. That's why we didn't switch it.
Oh, okay,
This
okay,
is
okay.
this
This
is a
is a
little
precursor.
add-on. Yeah.
Okay. That's fine. That's fine. But nah, you know, Rashod Bateman, I mean, you had to have more faith in yourself than
Well,
that.
and listen, that's why I also don't have faith in them. Like, if you don't have faith in yourself, don't try to convince somebody else to have faith in you.
Yes, Danity. Only five mil per year is what he's getting right now. They try to, they'll try to spin it and say, well, he's making double what he would have made on his rookie deal, right? No, but he has to stay for extra 2 years.
Yeah.
Now this is what I'm saying about players like this. I don't have anything against Rashod Bateman. He's here. I'm going to be rooting for him. Let's make that clear. I hope that he proves me wrong. But a player at that position that doesn't have the confidence in himself, like if he really thought he was that guy, he'd be like, no, hell no. I'll gamble on myself. I'm going to ball out, and you better get me the ball.
Now, look, look, it could be a situation where he, for whatever reason, just needs the money now.
Yeah.
And if that is the case, screw the Ravens again for taking advantage of that and screwing him out of because even to the level he's performed at this point, he's worth more than the extension they just gave him.
I don't like that. I mean, they could. There's nothing that was holding them back from giving him more money.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like they're acting like they're doing him a solid. No, not really. Not really. You could at least offer him market value. So I don't like it for either side. And Rashod, I mean, even if he needed the money now, like, bro, get a loan or something. Hit up what's that baseball player's name?
Shohei.
hit up Shohei. Hit up Shohei's interpreter. All right, let's get in.
Coach said this is interesting to me here because Coach says no way Duvernay's more valuable than him. But Duvernay put up not as good receiving numbers, but close. And the rule changes are going to bring back his value as a kick returner, so he might actually end up being more valuable than Bateman.
Well,
Bateman's a talented guy. And he should be more productive than he has been. I think a lot of it is mental and confidence related. So, I mean, we'll see.
And I'm dead serious when I say this. Here's what I hope for Rashod Bateman this year. I hope he balls out. I hope at the end of the year, I'm like, damn, I was wrong about him. Like, he is the man. I hope he balls out and then holds out. I hope he says, yeah, I know I just did that contract, but rip that up.
Yeah.
Or I'm not showing up. Like I hope he does that, right? Because they got over on him. What's up, Agent E? Says, what's up, fellas? I'm just getting home from work. Salute to you, Agent E. B just got off of work like 15 minutes ago.
Yeah.
So let's see. Actually, 1.25 mil as a base. That's what he's getting. Oh, I'm sorry. You put something on there?
Huh? No.
Oh, I thought you put something on the screen. Okay. Yeah. I mean, yeah, they screwed him over. But again, he didn't have to take the deal. So, all right, let's get into some draft recap. This is what we're going to spend the majority of the show on. We're going to do draft recap for both teams. We're going to talk some NBA real quick. We're going to do court of public opinion, submitted questions, and we're getting up out of here. All right. Come hang out with us on the Overtime Show. We'll be talking about a lot of stuff. All right. So let's go.
All right.
All right. You guys have been waiting for it. What are your grades, guys? What did you grade the draft? Well, spoiler alert, if you watched the Ravens Roundup, and I know you did, okay, over on Coach's channel, Sip Tally Films, right? That's where we're at every Monday night. You got a little bit. Well, you got our grades. We gave our grades for each position, but we'll recap the draft. We'll give you our thoughts. Okay, most of you guys kind of know how we feel about it already, especially if you watched the live stream that we did. We simulcast between here and Coach's channel. All right, but we're starting with the Ravens, I guess. So let's go with the first pick. The first pick, which was Nate Wiggins. B, would you give that pick?
I believe I gave that pick an F. And again, that's not because Nate Wiggins is a bad player, but it's because it wasn't a need, and you are ignoring the massive needs on the other side of the ball. Again, I said it on the stream when we were talking with Coach on Monday. You looked at the draft and the way it was playing out, and you said 2 corners went in the first round. We can't risk not getting a guy in the second. But you also looked at the offensive line and said 9 players went in the first round before our pick. F it, we'll wait until tomorrow to get our guy to protect our quarterback. It makes absolutely no sense. He's not going to have any impact on this team in the short term. And if we're talking about long term, they drafted a player later who is going to address their long term concerns.
Yeah. So, I try to look at it from the different angles, right? Like Coach, Chris, Carrie, them, right? Like they have an analytical mind. Like they break down the player. They say, hey, we're judging the player, not the pick.
Mhm.
And I get that because he looks like an excellent player. He could quite possibly be our number 1 corner very soon, right? And I seen his tape. I like the way he plays. I love trash talkers that can back it up. But the wrong pick.
Coach says, what if he get a pick 6 in every game? Hey, Coach, what if JPJ blocks somebody every game? That's something that will actually happen.
Well, if he got pick 6 in every game, yes, that would change my mind, Coach.
Hey, you know what? You know what's funny? Why don't we talk about Deron Bland, who led the league in interceptions and touchdowns for a defensive player? That ain't changed Dallas's fate, did it?
But if he got a pick 6 in all 17 games, yes, sign me up. Okay, I will be on board. Okay, but no, like it's just no. I don't doubt that he's going to be an excellent player. I don't doubt that. I'm going to like him when he's out there. I don't doubt that, right? But that none of that changes the fact that we don't have blockers. That's the problem with the pick. So, but I didn't go as hard as an F. I just said a A for the talent we got, a F for the pick itself. But overall, I give it a C because like he is a talent. He calls you an angry man.
I was just asking too, Coach.
Yeah, it's we can't keep accepting this, right? Like, no, we don't have control over the draft, but we don't have to go along with what they're doing, and they're joking about it, like, oh yeah, we had offers to trade up, and we was like, that's not what we do. We have to keep our picks so we can make the picks that we made in the later rounds. We'll get to that later, but no, man, it's a good player, wrong pick type of situation, man. I don't think it's as bad as the Patrick Queen pick, which was a bad pick as well.
I'm gonna stop you right here because D Banks, today is not the day. Today is not the day, bro. You said we have depth at O-line. I see you make one more comment like that, you gone.
Okay, well,
gone.
Well, okay, I was going to ask you a question. Maybe I shouldn't ask it. We have depth at O-line. Who are our starters? And I don't even need you to type the answer because you don't know. The team doesn't know.
Right.
They don't know who the starters are because you know what? When you have a good O-line, they don't compete in the offseason for the starting job. Tyler Linderbaum isn't competing with anybody. Would you guys agree? He's not competing with anybody. Ronnie Stanley, even though he hasn't played great these last couple of years, isn't competing with anybody for the left tackle spot. Would you guys agree with that? Okay, because they're locked in there. Now, left guard, right tackle. Who is the starter? You can't answer that because the team hasn't answered that yet because it is a competition.
Are you sure? Because in round 2, they drafted Roger Rosengarten, tackle out of the University of Washington. What did you think of this pick?
That one I gave an A. I like that pick. I mean, with who was left, but Chris and Coach like him, so they feel pretty high on him. I don't think they went as far as to say that he was going to be locked in as a starter, but they, coach feels good about his chances of starting there. I hope so. That's kind of my concern with waiting until later to get a O lineman. You're not sure, but I like the pick because it was a pick of need, and he's a guy with a lot of potential. So, yeah, A.
Yeah, I gave that an A as well. He's a great pass blocker in college. That's obviously what they need moving forward there, and hopefully he can come in and be their guy day one at right tackle because they don't have much there. If he's not ready to go, it's just going to be ugly at that spot.
Yeah. Yeah. So NT Sports says A+. Daniel Franklin says same situation. We took Jimmy Smith. He basically sat for 2 years. Lindenbaum don't need competition at center. He's a monster. But yeah, that's our point. Like that's what we need up front, more so than other teams. Because yes, every team struggles with O linemen. They're hard to come by. But when we want to play the type of football we want to play, which is heavy on the run and stack the defense, then O-line is more essential than other teams. You have to make sure that your quarterback is well protected. So the few times that you do pass the ball, you can execute, right? When you're running the ball, they can create gaps for your running back because we want to wear teams down, right? We want to bully them. So you have to make sure that you have that talent up front. And it's just not a priority for them at all. So that's why I don't believe in it. I don't subscribe to what they say. Oh, we play hard-nosed defense and we run the ball until you don't.
Yeah.
So okay, but that's the second round pick. We both gave it an A. What's the third round pick?
Third round pick. That is where they went. This one was pretty shocking at the time. Chris announced it on the stream while we were just kind of we were just talking, and I didn't believe him. I thought he was joking.
We really thought he was joking.
His name, but they went Adisa Isaac, the edge rusher out of Penn State. This pick I gave, I believe, a C+. Just because when you get to the end of that third round, you're kind of getting out of the territory of the draft where you're looking for guys who are going to make an immediate impact. You're starting to get into the guys who are, there to be developed and contribute later on. Obviously sometimes you get lucky and later picks come in immediately and help out. But, he's a talented player. I didn't think it's not a position of need, but again, at that point in the draft, you probably weren't getting guys who were going to come in and fill the starting roles on the O-line or fill a prominent position in that wide receiving core right from the beginning anyway.
I gave it a C. Yes, I understand at that point of the draft, you want to get guys that you feel are most talented because, you get into the point where, the talent is starting to wane a little bit, but you didn't address your needs. Right, you addressed one need, that was right tackle. You still need guards, and even if you feel like Ben Cleveland is your guy, you don't know what you have at left guard, right?
Yeah.
Or right guard, whatever you're gonna put him. You didn't really address it, and maybe it might have been a stretch to get somebody there, right? But I mean, isn't it a stretch to say Andrew Voorhees could win the job?
Mm-hmm.
Isn't it a stretch to say Salah could win the job?
Well, but let me stop you right there. It's not a stretch when you don't bring in any competition for them. One of them's going to win the job.
Well, yeah, one's going to win the job. But I'm saying, like, are we saying Voorhees is more talented than those guys?
No.
Right. So bring in more competition. I don't care about. Again, we drafted another position that's not a need. All right. We don't need edge rushers. And the team doesn't value edge rushers. Right? We have a first, second, and a fourth round pick on the team already that need to be utilized. We brought back Kyle Van Noy. It just wasn't a need right now, but he is a talented guy, and hopefully he can come in right away and make a big impact. That's what I'm going to be rooting for. But yeah, I give it a C overall.
Yeah. Next in the fourth round, they had two picks. First was Tez Walker, wide receiver out of North Carolina, and then they followed that up with excuse me, Rasheen Ali, TJ Tampa, the corner out of Iowa State, was
That's
the other
right.
4th round pick.
Yeah. So Tez Walker, I think I gave it like a C or a B. That's fine. Like he's my issue with it is he's a raw talent, right? I know Coach loves Tez Walker, speed guy. You know, he could. I know C. Smith loved him too. He's a guy that you can kind of mold and he can turn into something serious. But you went to a team that can't mold wide receivers. So that's I'm not that high on it. You needed a wide receiver that was more polished. You should have gotten him earlier. Right. Now the TJ Tampa, this is where you can go and get your cornerback. And I actually think that's somebody that they can develop. Right. He wasn't a speed guy, but he's long, right? He's lengthy and he's athletic. And that's somebody that they can definitely mold. Right. He doesn't have to go in there and be a star right away. They can mold him and he'll be ready to go down the stretch. We didn't need to go in the first round and get our guy. Right here is why I like that pick. What's going on, Rave Kingdom? Shout out to you. What did you give it, B?
I like the Tampa pick a lot. I thought that's a really solid pick for a team that's proven repeatedly that they can draft and develop on defense. The Tez Walker pick is, I gave it, I believe, like a C- or something like that, because you're drafting a kid who is not a good route runner, and who most people say has issues with his hands. And I think he's going to leave Baltimore as not a good route runner with issues with his hands. Because you can't, they have not shown the ability to develop receivers. He's not the first fast guy they've had. He's not the first big receiver they've had. Why would this be any different? I know that he's been a fan favorite and everything. I just don't see that really making too big of an impact. But I like the TJ Tampa pick. And again, when you're talking about later on in the 4th round, you might as well throw a dart at wide receiver as well. And he does have that speed that you can't teach. So maybe they get lucky.
Killer says, I see y'all points. Thank you, Killer. Now D Banks, okay, I know you don't want to bring up his comments, but he says, more speed, and he's not a little dude. He doesn't have to come in and be a number one. Yeah, he's not gonna be a number one, but what's he gonna be? You know what I'm saying? Like that's the thing, D Banks. Like, is he gonna be number 2? You don't think that. Do you think he's gonna be number 3? You don't think that. Do you think he's gonna be a number 4? Right? Like, possibly.
Like Miles Boykin was fast and big too.
Right.
Didn't matter.
Yes. We've had guys like that. Like, big body doesn't mean anything, right? If you can't play. And not saying that he can't play, but he's somebody that needs a lot of refining. And he could do it, but I'm just saying he'll probably have to do it outside of the organization. Right? He's somebody that might have to get the help, on his own and just really work on his craft in the off season and have some good mentors. And it's possible. It's possible. That's why I don't hate the pick there. He says, I think he has number 3 potential year 1. Okay.
That's an indictment of your team, not an endorsement of Tez Walker.
I don't think he beats out Nelson Aguilar, right? But if he did, cool. But Nelson Aguilar is polished, and I don't know. I don't see for Tez Walker in year 1, which is fine. But as question like year 2 and 3, if he doesn't have that drive to get better on his own, this team can't develop him.
Yeah. Moving on, next in the 5th round, that's where they took Rasheen Ali, the running back out of Marshall. This one, I thought this pick is fine. He's a guy who has some ability. Obviously, he has that athleticism as well. They're kind of trying to get more athletic on the offensive side of the ball. They needed a running back because Keaton Mitchell is not healthy at the moment. We don't really know when he's going to come back. Hopefully sooner rather than later, but you can't just bank on that. So he's going to come in immediately and be that number 3 guy behind Derrick Henry and Justice Hill. And who knows? Maybe he can push Justice. he does need to work on his pass blocking, but that's the worst part of Justice's game too. So we'll see. But this is a fine pick.
But he's hurt too, though. He has a hurt bicep right now. That's why he didn't work out. Now, he didn't work out, but I know he's a speed guy. He was on the Marshall track team, so I don't think slow guys go on a track team. So he's got some speed to him, and he has a lot of production too. Me and B looked up his stats because we didn't watch any Marshall games. We looked up his stats. Highly productive guy. That's what we'd like to see from those guys that are drafted from those smaller schools. You want to see like that. Yes, it might have been lesser competition, but they were getting busy. As the same thing I looked at when I saw Matt Judon. Matt Judon in his last year of college had like 20 sacks, something crazy like that. I forget what school he went to, but I was like, 20 sacks anywhere is a big deal. That's somebody that just knows how to get to the quarterback, right? So I look at Rashid Ali's production. That's somebody he just knows how to run the ball.
Yeah. Go ahead and bring up the next pick. I'm adding something here.
All right. So Rashid Ali was at the 5th round.
Yes.
The 6th round was that the quarterback.
6th round was quarterback Devin Leary out of Kentucky. Yes. I don't know why you got to say it like that, but sorry.
Quarterback. I need to clip that because some of you guys won't get that reference. That is from Ron Rivera when they're asking him what the problem was with his team, and he was referring to Carson Wentz. He just said quarterback. Killer says it's an F. Yes, man. It's an F all the way. F minus. In fact, NDT Sports, I tend to agree. You don't need to be messing with a backup quarterback at any rounds. Shout out to Rave Kingdom for the donation. It says, "Go Ravens, go! Can't wait for camp." Hey, salute to y'all. And let me just say this real quick, man. Shout out to everybody that's been donating. Shout out to Yolanda. She's been really supporting the show recently. We don't do super chats the normal way over here. Okay, this is how we do the super chats right here. Okay, we go to $ LBHT Show, like the QR code. That's what that says in the corner there. That's for our Cash App, $ LBHT Show. We also got the pin link that you see in the chat box that goes to our Streamlabs page. All right, both ways. You click on it, leave your donation, leave your comment, and we read it on air. And Microphone Man is doing, you don't know what Dancy's doing right there. That's the Park Heights strut. All right, he's going to Park Heights strut it for you. All right, so the support is greatly appreciated. Thank you. He said he is a worse Trace McSorley. That's what Killer Cam says.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't have a huge problem with this pick. I mean, if you're there and you're picking, they do need a backup quarterback. I don't think this guy is it, but they're taking a shot at it. He's probably going to get cut, but whoever they drafted here was probably going to get cut. So, I mean, it is what it is. You're attempting to address a need.
Yeah. What's going on, Xavier? He says, haven't caught you guys in a minute. Salute to you.
Like Xavier from the Court of Public Opinion later? Pretty sure that's the dude's name.
Who?
Xavier Smith that the Sanders boys were talking about.
Is that his name?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Now, I don't think Xavier, were you in the draft? That'd be funny if that was him. He's like, yeah.
No, he's not in the draft. He transferred to Austin P.
Austin. Oh.
Yeah.
That'd be funny if that was him. We have to bring you on the show. Yes, thank you, Danny. $ LBHT Show. That's the Cash App.
Yes.
Appreciate it. No, it's an F, man. Because here's why it's an F. He's
not guilty.
Well, you're not on trial, okay? Deion and Shedeur are going to be on trial. No, it's an F because for a team that values their picks so much, right? I need you to take these picks a little bit more seriously. Yes, you're right. At this point in the draft, you're not expecting anything, but this is a guy that was laughing about how we don't trade up, we don't give up picks, right? Well, you value these picks so much, you need to take them more seriously than that.
Well, and that's why I really hated hearing him say that, because they don't really value their picks. You drafted a punter in the 4th round. You don't really value your picks. You just don't want to trade. You're just conservative. That's all it is. Yeah. And that nature kind of mixed with them being defensive minded to begin with is why the offense is always in the state that it's in. But moving on, because we gotta start. We gotta pick it
Okay,
up.
let's do it.
Next up, Nick Samak, the center from Michigan State. Now, this one, I thought I liked this pick quite a bit. He looked very athletic in the highlights that I saw. And I'm not saying he's the strongest guy in the world, but he was holding his own for the most part. But then I heard that he broke his leg in his last game. And I was like, just stop. Just stop
Yeah.
drafting guys who are already hurt.
Yeah.
So I gave this one a C.
Yeah, I think I gave like a C too. Too late to be picking O lineman. You should have been doing that earlier. What's going on, Sterling? Sterling, I gotta hit you up later. All right, we gotta talk. We got some things to discuss. All right.
I said just go to the Panthers. The rest trash.
All right, we'll speed this up. I gave it a C. Stop. Like we said, stop drafting injured players.
Last up in the seventh round, Sanusi Kane, the safety out of Purdue. I gave this one an incomplete because I don't know who that is.
Same thing. I don't know.
You know.
In fact, no, I changed my mind. I gave it an F. You should have drafted Bo Braid.
But they signed him afterwards anyway. So
let's draft him. F.
MDT Sports asks, is he playing guard? From what Chris was saying, he doesn't think he has the ability to play guard. That he thinks he's probably a center only. But we'll see.
That's right, Coach. Bo is better. That's right. Okay. It should have been Bo.
You know what? Sanusi got drafted though, ain't he?
Yeah. Well.
Anyway,
poor draft. That's why I got an F. All right, it's time for the Panthers. So overall, what did you give them?
I give them a C minus.
Yeah, C minus, and I'm being nice about it because I really want to give them like a D. You can't you go into the draft knowing that you have these needs. You didn't sign players because you said, well, there's the draft, and then you go in the draft but look at that shiny corner.
Yeah. What about June 2nd? And then you're going to be lining up on a Sunday in September talking about, well, why doesn't Lamar just evade the rush?
Right.
Why doesn't he just throw it faster?
Yeah. At this point, when the O-line doesn't hold up, if the O-line doesn't hold up, you guys, not you, but a lot of Ravens flock, I'm going to remind them that's what you wanted.
Yeah. That it is. All right, so moving on to the Carolina Panthers. They of the 2-15 record last year, but as I like to remind people, one of the few to beat CJ Stroud. Okay, 1-0 versus CJ Stroud. So we're going to carry that forward.
Undefeated.
They have a whole new front office, new coaching staff. They've made some major changes to the roster. Now, they did not have a first-round pick. They had the number 1 overall pick. They traded that to Chicago in the Bryce Young deal. But they were picking 33rd and 39th. They made some trades. They moved themselves around. But they ended up at 32, and they took Xavier Legette, wide receiver out of South Carolina. Some say that that's a great pick. He's big, strong, athletic. He has good hands. He's really, really fast for his size. Some say that they're going to be holding his retirement party next week because he's old as hell.
He's 25?
He's 23. 5-year player at South Carolina, had absolutely no production until his senior year. And, watching him play, watching his games, you can see the athleticism is there, and the athleticism jumps off the screen. Right, he's 6'1" or 6'2", and he's got long strides. So he eats up the space. When they play off of him, he's got that acceleration. He attacks the ball in the air, and he does have good hands. But again, not a great route runner, not a guy who had been productive at all prior to this last year. And you kind of wonder, one, are they going to be able to develop his route running, at this late stage in his career? I mean, I say late, but he's an older rookie. And two, was he productive because he was playing much younger, underdeveloped players?
Yeah, and when I looked at his highlights, right, I looked at a couple of game tapes, that are out there. The thing that I noticed is he's a fast guy. He ran like a 4.3, right?
Yeah.
but I didn't like. You don't really see that in the games. Like he had a lot of contested catches. I didn't see a lot of like him separating or just taking it to the house. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
he's not great at separating. Um, but he does. I like to follow Reception Perception. That's the site started by Matt Harmon, who does almost exclusively wide receivers. And he charts wide receivers' routes, and he charts the type of coverage and their success rate for each route and against what coverage they were going against. Uh, and I mean, it wasn't pretty for him in terms of getting separation, but he does, like I said, he does know how to use that size. You know, so even though he's not getting a lot of separation, he was, like I said, jumping up, attacking the ball, and just snatching it out of the air. And he's not, the passes aren't getting broken up. He's not getting knocked off his routes, things like that. Like he's big and strong and athletic, and you kind of hope that's what they are looking at, and they have a plan for it, which is what it sounds like. But we'll have to wait and see, obviously, on that.
So I give it a B because yes, despite all those things that we're talking about, Dave Canales, what he did with Tampa last year, um, I think he went to the draft knowing like, okay, we know exactly what we're going to do with him. He's going to fit our plans, and even though he might be limited in certain things, I think he's going to fit what Dave Canales wants him to do like a glove. So I'll give it a B.
Next up, the Panthers in the second round took Jonathan Brooks, running back from Texas. He's the first running back off the board. I thought this was a little high for them to go running back because they have needs everywhere. And I thought that, with Miles Sanders and Chuba Hubbard and
Blackshear.
Raheem Blackshear, that they could wait on running back either till later in this draft or even next year. But they went Jonathan Brooks, and they got arguably the best running back in the draft. He's a guy who has the ability to be a 3-down back. He did tear his ACL last season. He was very productive prior to that, and the hope is that he's going to be ready to go before training camp. So he's got a chance to kind of hit the ground running and take that job on from day one. So I mean, I would say it's a solid pick. You always want to have that run game with your young quarterback to kind of help him, since we saw what happened to Bryce Young last year without it. But I would give it probably a B minus.
Yeah. Look, I was a little surprised that they drafted running back this high, but you have a potential playmaker right there. The run game wasn't great. A lot of that had to do with the O-line play, right? Yeah, I think Miles Sanders is better than what he showed last year, and Chuba and Blackshear did fine, but this guy, he could be your guy. So you got Xavier Leggett in the first round, and you come back with Jonathan Brooks in the second round. They're trying to get Young some weapons, all over, right? So I like the pick too. I'm gonna give it a B plus.
Yeah, and they really attacked O-line in free agency.
Mm-hmm.
I would have liked to have seen them go with JPJ, the center out of Oregon, but they've got their plan there. They signed 2 starting guards, and they're moving Austin Corbett to center. So they, like you said, they're using the start of the draft here to kind of put some talent around Bryce Young, so they can really start to build that offense back up. Third round, they came back. They took Trevin Wallace, linebacker out of Kentucky.
He wasn't even the best linebacker available.
Nah. So being generous, what the most optimistic reports on this pick are that, hey, he's a really athletic guy, and he can sit and learn, from Shaq Thompson, for a year or so, and kind of take over in that role. And the less optimistic reports are, why the hell did you draft Trevin Wallace in the third round?
So you say he's athletic. Like, how athletic?
I mean, I don't have his testing numbers right in front of me, but he's a kind of a sideline to sideline type player. Like he can get anywhere on the field. He's an athletic guy. He's not a great player.
What's up, Brandon? Thanks for coming through. Coach gives it a D. I'm leaning towards a D too, but I'm seeing a trend here. I'm seeing a trend. Canales wants athletic guys.
Yeah.
Every guy that he's drafted to this point has been athletic, right? And he's thinking, I have a plan, right? I get them in the system. They learn the system. We'll be all over the place. So
Well, I'll tell you what. Stay tuned because it doesn't stay that way.
but so okay, I'll give it a C. I'm kind of neutral. I'll give it a C for now.
So in the 4th round, they came back. The first pick of the 4th round, they came back and they took Jatavian Sanders, the tight end from Texas. Not very athletic, but a skilled tight end, probably the best tight end left at that point. Carolina does not have a tight end at all. And haven't for several years. So I mean, he's got all the opportunity in the world to come in and lock down that starting role as the receiving tight end, and I think get a lot of volume as well as kind of maybe not Bryce's go-to guy, but being an integral part of the pass game. So I like that pick a lot. I would give it a B, but it's just that early 4th round pick, and we might be hoping a little bit,
Yeah, no, I give it a B too. I might want to give it a little bit higher, but like you said, at this point in the draft, you don't know what you're going to get. But here's what you did get here: somebody that is going to compete for the starting job.
Yeah,
like you potentially got your starting tight end right there.
Brandon says, "Hey, do you think the Panthers need a fullback?" And I'm going to say, Patrick Ricard is your problem. Don't try to put that on us. Next up, 5th round, they went Chow Smith-Wade, the defensive back out of Washington State. Not a great athlete, kind of undersized, and I think this is a pick for a guy who's going to be a depth piece over the next few years. Not a terrible pick, but not anything very impactful either. I think they're really banking on bringing in Stephon Gilmore to kind of round out that secondary.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, this is I mean, NA from here on out for me. Like it's a C. Like you said, it's a depth pick, maybe special teams, right? Just whatever. He's not starting.
Yeah. Next up in the 6th round, Jaden, and I'm not 100% sure how to say this, Crumedy. He's a D tackle from Mississippi State. And, that's another area where they do need some depth. They have Derek Brown. Obviously, they extended him. They went out and they signed Ashawn Robinson. Don't have a whole lot behind those guys. So he comes in and hopefully he can be a solid part of the rotation. Honestly, don't know a whole lot about this guy. But, what I read was positive.
Yeah, I don't know anything about him either. But we're at the point of the draft where, you're rolling dice and you hope you get somebody that can turn into something. So, I mean, NA from here on out, like, incomplete. We just have to see.
And last, they took Michael Barrett, linebacker from Michigan. They took the less athletic linebacker from Michigan. He's the quintessential, he's a football player guy. So I imagine he's not going to make the team.
Yeah, I agree. This might have been a bad pick.
which is okay. I'm rooting for him, but
Jeremy said Michael Barrett likes the pickup. Yeah,
Jeremy likes it.
You never know.
But we'll see. Yeah.
Coach says it's a D.
I mean, you got to be bad to get a D in the 7th round. Right. Or coach is just, I don't know. That's a little harsh.
All right. Okay. So those are our grades. Overall, would you give the Panthers?
Man, honestly, overall, I think I'd probably give them a C. I'm not, the same thing with Baltimore. I'm not a real big fan of that first pick. For Carolina, it addressed a need. I just think it was the wrong player. Jonathan Brooks, I think, the value wasn't great. And I think they could have waited on running back. But I think, he is a good, solid prospect. And outside of that, I mean, Trevin Walls was just bad. That really kind of soured the whole thing.
Yeah, I think I'm with Osman. He said, well, Osman, you got 2 grades here. You have C and then B-. I'm going with B-, only because I think these are ambitious picks, but they're trying to hit home runs here because they say, hey, we got guys that are athletic. at least in the first 3 rounds. And if they work out, that can really transform the team.
Yeah.
You know, and because you did a good job in free agency, there's not as much pressure on those guys to perform right away.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like Xavier Leggett doesn't have to go out there and be the man day one, right? You have Deontay Johnson.
Yeah.
You know, Jonathan Brooks doesn't have to go out there and be the man day one. You got Miles Sanders. You know, you got Chuba Hubbard, Blackshear. So these are guys that can take their time developing, learning the system, and then break out. So it's I get the moves. Like, yes, we kind of look at the picks like, I don't know, but if Dave Canales might be that type of guy, his coaching staff might be that type of coaching staff that knows how to get the most out of those type of players. So B- for now.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
I will say though, if they feel like they could get the most out of Xavier Leggett, maybe just do that with Jonathan Mingo and don't draft Leggett. But whatever, it is what it is. So we're gonna go ahead and move on to what you think, court of public opinion up next.
All right, let's do it.
And
all rise. Court is now in session.
Oh no.
What?
There's a typo.
Okay. Yes, I see it. People will. All right. We're gonna speed this up, okay? Because we have to get going. Yeah, we have to get going.
Oh my god.
What? Another typo? Yes.
No, I thought I deleted the W, but I didn't get it. What the heck?
That W won't go away. See, Urban. Okay, look, order. Okay, he's saying guilty. No. You have to wait. The defendants haven't even taken a stand yet. I order, coach. He says that he's on the Sanders side.
Of course he is.
Okay, so what happened here? Because I didn't get all the stuff. I didn't have time to even download the tweets or anything like that.
So Xavier Smith, who is a safety, he was at Colorado when Deion Sanders got the job. He's one of those guys who Sanders essentially kicked off the team. He said, and I quote, Deion Sanders, quote, never even tried to get to know me, and that he was, quote, destroying guys' confidence and belief in themselves. Right. Yeah. At that point, Shedeur Sanders, Deion's son and the starting quarterback of Colorado, took to Twitter and said, bro had to be very mid at best. He didn't even remember who Xavier Smith was. And then that kind of escalated. They had other Colorado players piling on. Caleb Mathis, a receiver, posted a clip of him beating Xavier Smith in practice and kind of laughing. And then, one of Smith's teammates at Austin Peay was like, bro, you had 38 yards last year. Shut up. And then people are like, oh, you only had, 8 tackles or whatever. And Deion's, chiming in and kind of laughing. And, it for me, the whole thing is, you don't like him talking about the way you handled moving into Colorado. It was a big story. You're the one who had the cameras in the room when you went in there and told those kids essentially pack your stuff and get out, right?
Yep.
And again, you can't sell yourself as being about the kids, which he's done, and just discard kids like that, right? But that's a common thing. Like you go to a new school and you're going to recruit new players to come in, especially if the team is bad. I think it was more about the way he did it that a lot of those players didn't like.
Sure.
But I think that's fair. It's fair to criticize that. Now, Shedeur coming out and kind of trashing this kid and, his teammates piling on and everything is a terrible look. And I think it's a joke, especially from any of those kids on a Colorado team that won 4 games. You guys are nothing. Like, I know that Shedeur, they think he's going to be a top pick next year. But this kind of goes to my whole feeling that Deion and the others are just con men. Like, they don't really care about Colorado and all that. Like, they use that jump to promote his son and promote himself and, try to get him into the best position in the league. I'm not saying he shouldn't do that, but you should be, that's not the reason you should be coaching at a major college level, right? But again, I think that the Colorado players are 95% arrogant and 5% skill at this point. Like, you are bad at football. You shouldn't be talking about anybody.
All right. We align on about like 80%.
What do you mean you want to be coddled, coach? He wasn't even there.
Who wanted to be coddled?
How would anyone know that?
Well, okay. All right. So let me get my take. I'll start where I disagree. I disagree slightly on Shedeur's take. Right. I'm going to just say, time served. Get out of here. Get out of court. Okay, because he's paying for his father. That's his father. Anybody takes shots at your dad, you're gonna react, right? I had no problem with that because even in NFL, players go at each other, right? So that's between players. It is what it is. I don't look at that any way. Like, yeah, okay, you talking bad about my dad, even if that wasn't his dad, right? You talking about my coach for my team, and I'm gonna take shots at you. That's what players do. That's fine. That's whatever. Okay, Deion. I mean, I haven't been as harsh on Deion, but I haven't disagreed with what you've been saying about Deion either, because he can't help but to be in the spotlight. And even though there's some things that I like that he's doing, he turns around and does stuff like this. Like, why are you getting involved in that? Like, players are going to be upset for doing that, especially how you did it.
Yeah,
like
and
you
that's
know that
why you did it.
And instead of kind of chiming in the way he did, give some words of encouragement. Say, hey, I know he was upset. Maybe I should have handled things a little differently. But if you need anything, reach out to me. I, even though you didn't play for me, I'll be there for you. Like, say something like that. Like what a coach is supposed to say, right? Mm-hmm. Like Coach Evans. I know he's in the chat. I know Coach would never handle things that way. He would never handle things that way, right? And even if he felt a certain way about a player, he wouldn't just start crapping on him. He would, he might be thinking it, but he would be more civil than that. I think it's just too childish for somebody like Deion Sanders, and this is something that I've had a problem with during the season as well. I don't like how he handled things during the season either. When he's talking about some of his linemen aren't going to be there next year or whatnot, instead of saying, hey, it's been rough, but I have faith in these guys. They're going to get better. Like say something like that. It's just saying, oh, they suck. They're not going to be here. I mean, you're not a fan. You're a coach. That's the team that you put together. That's the team that you have right now. Good or bad, you have to ride it out, and you have to give them all the confidence in the world, because some of those games they could have won. Mm-hmm. I think if he had done a better job, I don't think he's a bad coach, but I think had he not been so emotional in some of those games, they could have pulled out those wins. So those are things that he needs to learn. So no, I'm not giving Deion a pass. Shedeur, you can go.
Right, because the other part of it is Deion has not proven that he's a good coach. Several of those games they lost last year were purely bad coaching, right? Yeah. And again, you came in there and you won 4 games. Who are you to talk down to anybody?
Yeah, I give him credit for the ones that he won. I think he had a good. They came back and fought against USC. He had his moments. But yes, there's a lot of coaching errors there.
Yeah. So I'm going to say again, and this is my longtime opinion about Deion Sanders, and you know this, and I've said this on the show, that he don't care about them kids a single bit. He used the HBCU to promote himself. He's using Colorado to promote himself and his kids. He's going to jump the second he gets a better opportunity, and he'll leave those kids he recruits to Colorado just the way he kicked out the kids that were at Colorado when he got there. Mm-hmm. He's a clown and a con man, and you shouldn't believe a single thing that comes out of his mouth. And again, this, even if none of that were true, this just looks terrible. You're a grown man. Why are you online on Twitter laughing at a college kid?
Right. and then quoting Bible scripture afterwards. You can't do that, man. You can't have it both ways.
No.
Mikey said 4 games after a team that won 1 game. And
they won 4.
Yeah.
That's not good.
So yes, the year before, it's an improvement from the year before, but he didn't take the team from the year before and win 4 games with that same team. He kicked that team out, right? And again, I'm not as harsh on him as B, but I don't disagree necessarily with what B is saying either, right? And B knows how to sniff out a con artist. Okay, his spidey senses tingle when somebody calls it some BS, man. But no, man, like, okay, he was polarizing, right? I watched a lot of the games. That's the thing that I did like about Deion. I like how he can bring attention to a school, but they fell apart at the end, and when they were losing games that they thought they should be able to win, just the way he handled it, tells me you don't have it yet, right? Like every coach, you're gonna have disappointing losses. Every single coach, you're gonna have bad losses. You can't sit there and say that your team sucks. You can't be talking about your O-line. Some of your players aren't going to be there next year. Like, you can't say that.
Right.
You still have games to play.
Yeah, we got the poll up here. Go ahead and vote for whose side you're taking on this one. Not who's guilty, but if you agree with Deion and Shedeur, go ahead and type in #Sanders. If you agree that they handled it poorly, #people.
Pay the bills. #guilty is not one of the options. Okay, look, you have to put one of those hashtags there. It's either #the people or #Sanders. Okay, it's got to be one of those, and then your vote will count. Okay, Urban Closer. Okay, you said #people. Okay, you got it. The people. #the people. You got it. You had to type it in correctly. Coach says truth hurts.
It does hurt. He hasn't proven anything.
Now, Coach, that's Coach's favorite player of all time.
I know that's what's driving these comments. But
no, and Coach, don't get me wrong, because I mean, Coach did a show with Mikey and Denarian talking about Ed Reed's time, his short-lived stint as a coach, right?
Yeah.
Ed Reed's one of my favorite players, and no, Ed Reed didn't handle everything correctly, but I know my fandomness was like he was 100% correct. He did nothing wrong. Nah, you did some things wrong. You did some things wrong.
This system is kicking y'all ass, man. It's not #the people. It's #people. No. Maybe it's on me.
Oh, no. Oh, my bad. I said #the people. I'm sorry. It's #people. It's #people, guys. I led them astray.
You gotta look in the parentheses.
Yes, look in the parentheses. we got to blow that up. That's kind of small. I'm not sure they can see that on the screen. But yes, #people. Don't listen to me. Okay, #people and #Sanders. Okay, there you go. I be saying there you go. That was my fault. MDT Sports. Oh, you were so close. He said #space people. It's got to be. You guys know how to use hashtags? We're the old heads. We're the ones that are not supposed to know how to use this. Okay, it's #people. Type it in again. I want your vote to count. I said, Jose, you're guilty. You're out of order.
There you go. It's right there on the ticker as well. #people or #Sanders.
And #diabolical haters is not one of the options. Pay the bills. All right, we give you guys a couple of seconds. We gotta get out of here, man. We gotta get this moving. We're already over an hour. Yes. All right. But yeah, Deion. Look. As soon as we start talking about Deion, the chat room filled up. All right. Make sure you hit that like button. If you're new, hit that subscribe button. All right. #those people.
All right, y'all can't handle this responsibility. We're taking it down. All right.
All right. Let's do some. All right. He's guilty. #hate. All right. Submitted questions time.
Submitted questions time.
Let's do it.
All right. The first submitted question is from.
before you go, because I didn't get a chance to play it earlier, okay, we are going to be doing the overtime show. I got to put the promo here on screen so you can see it because I spent time putting this together. So you're going to look at it, okay? Yes, that is Kendrick Lamar and a shocked Drake there saying, what? He said, oh, you weren't supposed to talk about that? So we're going to be discussing that on the overtime show while we do our fantasy football draft, and we'll be talking about anything and everything while we do the draft. It's going to be a lot of fun. You want to be a part of it, go right here. I know the light's blocking it right there, so I'll read it for you. Patreon.com/LBHT Show. That's how you join it. I know you have $5 in your pocket. That's all you need. If you want to give more, you can give more. But $5 will get you entry into the overtime show. If you spend $10, you can get one of these nice shiny coins right here.
Coach, you lost the poll. I hate to break that to you.
Are you trying? He's trying to fill the ballot box there. So yes, Patreon.com/LBHT Show. Sign up today. Hang out with us on the overtime show. All right, let's go.
All right, so our first submitted question. We've only got 2 tonight. This one comes in from Anrob. He says, is the Ravens owner the most responsible for the problems with this team?
Yes. He's like, when you come down, if you really want to break it down, he's the sole reason, right? Like, he's the owner. He runs the team. He's the one that's letting guys hang around that shouldn't be around. John Harbaugh shouldn't be on his team anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Ozzie shouldn't be in the building anymore, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you tell EDC, you run a team your way, and if you're running it like Ozzie, then you can't be here either, right? Like, he has to step in and say, yeah, we got to do things differently. But he's not going to do it because he's making money.
Yeah.
And that's what he cares about. And they are very successful when it comes to that. So for him, there is no problem.
Right. I think the thing that's most telling regarding it being, him being responsible, is not even John Harbaugh, because a lot of people will stick with a guy like that just out of loyalty. He won your Super Bowl, but Steve Saunders, like, you have a guy who caused an outbreak in your building, and aside from the health concerns, cost you however many players it was for that coming week. Any owner that was actually on the ball and paying attention would have had him out the building immediately.
Yep.
But Steve hung around. So yes, it's definitely on the owner, Biscotti.
Yeah.
Next up from Jeremy, he says, with Steph, LeBron, and KD all eliminated, who will be the new face of the NBA?
Oh man, I think the kids like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. I think they like him. They like Ant-Man.
Mm-hmm.
Giannis had a little stint, but I think he, if you don't win another one, he gonna be forgotten about. Ja got hurt this year. I felt like if Ja was healthy, that'd been real interesting. What they'd have done in the playoffs. Ja is not out of this race, ladies and gentlemen. Ja can come back. They'll rehabilitate his image a little bit, if he stays out of trouble, right? But he's super. Saying super athletic is not even doing him justice.
Yeah.
So yeah, he can be back in this. DJ Malone, what's going on? Yeah, it says been a minute. Hey, thanks for coming through, man. Appreciate you coming through. Sancho Mack in the house. What's going on? Oh, everybody coming through today. Sancho, what's going on? And it's the closest to an MJ Kobe mindset. I don't think so.
I wouldn't say. I know what you mean. I think he has that kind of that swagger about him. But
yes, yeah.
Listen, Nikola Jokic is a killer. He just likes to tell jokes too. I'm going to say that the face of the league is definitely going to be Wembanyama, and I think it's going to be Wembanyama and versus Anthony Edwards, and I'm going to say Luka is going to be the third guy in that mix. I don't think that Ja is going to get himself to that level and stay there. Luka's the hole in Luka's game is defense. He's not a great defender. On cardio as well, but nobody cares if you don't play defense, really. right? Not if you're a great offensive player. So he's going to get that kind of praise and everything. He's going to be put up on that level regardless. Anthony Edwards is just an all around killer. Wembanyama is already in the discussion for best defensive player in the league, and obviously he's a great offensive player as well, and he's just getting started. Jokic is the guy right now. But I think it's very soon it's going to be Wembanyama, and those are going to be, kind of his rivals throughout his career.
That's right, Urban. You leave Fat Luka alone.
Fat Luka is probably my favorite player in the league, man.
Mine too. Now, here's a bonus question I'm throwing in real quick. Which, out of all these guys, which ones are going to pair with each other?
Listen, I'm of the opinion that anybody who has a ounce of self-awareness about them, Jalen Brunson, needs to run to San Antonio and try to pair up with Wembanyama.
Yeah.
That's where you're going to be piling up rings. I don't think a guy like Luka will. I don't think Anthony Edwards will. As I was saying, I think those are going to be the kind of the rivals for Wembanyama. But I would see Jalen Brunson moving. I think Spider Mitchell will, move again, within the next few years. Trae Young is obviously going to be on his way out of Atlanta sooner rather than later, I think. So yeah, I think there's going to be a nice little realignment once, LeBron and Steph and KD are kind of, all the way gone.
I think Luka and Jokic would absolutely play together.
I think the NBA would love that.
I would love that.
I would love that too. That'd be fantastic to watch. That'd be fantastic to watch.
Yeah. Hendo said LeBron and Wemby, LeBron and Jokic, LeBron and Edwards. He's opting out. Who knows if he goes back to the Lakers? He could end up one of these guys. He's probably gonna go back.
He's going back. Yeah. They're already talking about they're gonna draft Brodny. They said they're desperate to get him back.
Yeah, they said they're gonna give him the Supermax, right?
Yeah. Reg says somebody can come and join Paolo. Paolo will be on the move as well, Reg. No worries there.
All right, next question. Let's
no, that's it. We had the 2 questions for tonight.
Oh, okay.
And it is about time to roll out.
And let me give a shout out to House. Everybody's coming through, B. Everybody's here. What's up, House? He says, I think this generation of young stars are going to stay on their teams because of the Supermax. Yeah, Supermax changes things. There's still ways to get around that because the Supermax is essentially just an extra year, right?
Yeah, it's an extra year. It's a little bit more money in the first few years, but it is just really that extra year.
Yeah. Early on, yes, I think the Supermax is a great incentive for younger players. But once you get, this is my theory, okay? Your first, 5-6 years in the NBA, you're having fun. You're developing. You're establishing yourself as a top player. Once you get into 27 is when you hit your peak physically, right? You played for a while. Then it slowly starts to go down, faster for some, but it slowly starts to go down, but you're a better overall player. Your knowledge of the game is better, but you've established yourself as a top player. Then it's not fun anymore. You're thinking about your legacy. If you're a serious player, you're thinking, okay, I've played for, I came in the league at 20 and I'm 27 now. I played for 7 years, or 28. I played for 8 years. Okay. I know I can play. I've been bounced from the playoffs a few times. Okay. It doesn't feel good. Now I have maybe another 6 or 7 good years left. I need to start collecting these rings so I can be one of those greats. That's when the game isn't fun anymore. That's when you start cutting your hair, right? They all do it. John's going to cut his hair at some point. He's not going to have those dreads gone.
Yeah.
Okay. They're all going to do it. They're going to cut their hair in their late 20s.
Derek White did it.
Right. And you saw what happened to him. 44 points the other day. Okay. He's not playing anymore. But yes, that's when the whole I'm gonna play by myself, I'm gonna do it by myself goes out the window. Then it's time to get serious. I need to have some ballers around me. I need to
Yeah.
pair it with at least one guy because that's the only way I'm going to do it in today's NBA. So I think you will see some pairings.
Yeah, absolutely. So that is, I think, all we had for tonight. We
gotta spin
do
the
have to
wheel.
do the wheel, and then we're going to be out of here, I think.
Yep.
So let's see if we've got the wheel on this. Yes, we do. All right, there is the prize wheel. We've got our names in the wheel, and remember, this is for a This is for a $25 Amazon gift card.
Before you spin it, okay.
Mm-hmm.
There's not as many names this month. Okay, it's a little light. That means these are the only people that hit 1,000 points. So just to reiterate, how you get 1,000 points? You get 1,000 points. You get points by participating in the chat. That'll give you points. Okay, submitting questions, and we read your question on air. Okay, and you can hit us up anywhere on social media at LBHT Show. You can DM us, or you can send us an email, lbhtshow@gmail.com. Okay. Hold on a second, B.
You can't just be talking to people in the middle of the show. We live right now. Tell a boy go do some homework or something.
So you can email us. That's how we'll read your question on air. Donations will get you points fast. Subscribing, sign up to our Patreon, get you points fast. Okay. And if you want an instant 1,000 points, go over to LBHTShow.com. LBHTShow.com. Sign up for our newsletter. A pop-up will show up on the screen. You put your email in there, and then you just send us a message, say, hey, I signed up for the newsletter, instant 1,000 points. But that's how you get onto that wheel at the end of the month. And this is for a $25 Amazon gift card.
Yes. And it is time to spin the wheel.
Just Aloe.
Oh man!
All right.
I think he went to bed already.
But
But
he's right there. No, he's there.
Okay.
He said, "Old Tim Duncan thinks Ant will be the face of the
league."
league."
That was several minutes ago, though. He might be gone. But just hit us up in the either in the Discord or on Twitter. There he is.
There he is.
and we'll get your email and we'll send that out immediately. Congratulations to you. We're gonna call Rick Defendo. And like Jose said, if you submit some questions, you donate, you sign up to our newsletter, you stay active in the chat. It only takes 1,000 points. You'll be on the wheel next month, and maybe it'll be your time.
Yes. So congratulations to Just Aloe. Just Aloe was at our meet and greet last year. Yes, yeah. Well, he was there. He was there promptly on time.
That's right.
And he headed out before it got too rowdy in there. But I appreciate you coming through, Just Aloe.
Yes.
Yeah. So speaking of meet and greet, we'll talk real quick. There's not going to be a meet and greet this year. We don't think. There's not going to be one this year. No. Next year, there's definitely going to be one. So if you want to go, we'll start putting together information for that. We'll put the tickets out. They'll go on sale earlier because we sent them out. We started kind of late last time. It was a little chaotic, but we still had a good time. But next year, 2025, the meet and greet will be back. We did a stadium tour.
And I believe Hendo might be doing another one of those.
He's going to be doing another one. So that's kind of like a mini meet and greet because we went to the stadium and then afterwards we got together and got something to eat. It was a lot of fun, right? And that was for patrons, all right? So, okay. Trivia time?
No.
This is no trivia?
Mm-mm.
Oh, okay. Well, no trivia tonight then.
No, not tonight. We'll have 2 next week to make up for it.
Okay, and that's another way you can get points is through trivia time. All right, but not tonight. Not tonight. We are getting ready to do the draft. Just Aloe says you guys actually have my address, but I'll give you my email too.
Yeah, Just Aloe, we don't send out physical gift cards, bro. It's email. Come on, man.
He's like, just put the check in the mail.
I don't know how I got surrounded by so many old people. I was telling him that, like, your daughter was on the phone with me talking about how excited she is to send checks to people. Like, nobody sends checks.
I
What are you
know.
talking about?
I know. That's not a thing anymore.
No.
Jerry Miller says Drake and Kendrick beef over trivia.
That's right.
Over the draft. We're going to be doing that. That's what we're going to be talking about. We're going to be talking about Kendrick and Drake and, all the fun. I use snail mail, baby. That's right. That's right. Just Aloe. Yes, Kendrick and Drake, Kendrick Lamar. Literally all of you have heard the diss track by now. Okay.
Yes.
I caught it when it first came out. It was already at like 5 million listens.
Right.
All right. So
just Aloe.
Yeah. I use checks. What you talking about? Okay. All right.
At least you didn't spell it with a Q.
Using his fountain pen.
Hey, I'll be talking about fountain pens. All right. Fountain pens are awesome.
All right, guys. Thank you for coming through. There's still 50 people in here. Nice. Hit that like button on your way out. We're trying to hit 2,000 subscribers. 2,000 is the goal. Coach Evans, who's been in the chat all night, 10,000 is the goal. He is, I think, less than 500 away.
Yeah.
So go over there, hit the subscribe button. And Ring Kings, okay? Canelo's fighting this weekend. We're going to be covering that.
And he might be fighting Oscar this weekend.
He might, yeah. He might have a little extra. Mr. Galloway is another person you need to subscribe to. What's up, Dre? He's put out some dope music.
Yes.
Okay. Go over there, check out his videos. Dope music. Subscribe. Do that right now. It only takes seconds. That's right, Hendo. It only takes seconds. And that's another person you need to subscribe to. His video, Hendo, you've seen Hendo's work. Even if you just watched our channel, he's done some edits for us. He puts out dope videos. And we got a project coming up pretty soon with him and ourselves. Okay. So stay tuned for that. Support it. All right. Okay. So let's get out of here. Patrons, get ready. Because what time does our draft start? 9?
9:10.
9:10. All right. The overtime is starting. We're going to be hanging out, doing some fantasy football draft, talking Kendrick and Drake, and whatever else you want to talk about. All right. Everybody else, thank you so much. Have a great night, and we will see you next time. Peace.